Hello, this is Mesa and welcome to another commentary video for Fall of the Samurai. So, we'll start with a quick one, and let's just look at my army. Due to my opponent being a low star, I have a bit few Koku to spend than he did, but I could bring my Infantry Marine, my Torso Rifleman, very experienced, my unexperienced White Bear Infantry, and my entire elite cavalry force, my Yariki, potential game changers, my Shogunate Guard Cav, and my Yariki. And of course, my general. Oh, there he is. Ever present, watching. Heroic. Oh yeah. So, once again, my opponent went for a quantity over quality, and well, I guess you know what that means by now. Anyway, got the Azure Dragon Force, and another unit of Azure Dragon Force, Azure Dragon Force, Azure Dragon Force, Azure Dragon Force, something different, Katana Kachi, Katana Kachi, Katana Kachi, Kyoto Police, Kyoto Police, and Kyoto Police. So he's got a lot of melee units, and he's going to try to put that to good use. You will see that later. Something you don't have is Cav, so that's the true advantage I have in this game, because I don't have any melee troops, and my missile troops are, well, there aren't that many of them, at least not compared to my enemy. And here are his general. Nice looking fella. You seem a bit uncertain, sir. Anything wrong? Well, maybe you know that it Doom approaches. Anyway, let's speed it back up. So, I knew from experience that what you should do with this map is have long range skirmishes right here, and if your opponent tries to go down here, the pathfinding will most likely screw up, and yeah. Most people don't like that, and I don't blame them. So, the long range actually reached all the way over, and I got both my long range units in range, and therefore my opponent tries to go down here and get within shooting range. And if you do that, you should really try to run. Maybe it was accustomed to other Total War games. I've noticed that when I play other Total War games, because in this game the units start at running when you start to move them. But in all other Total War games you have to click R or double click to have them run faster, so yeah, that's that. So that's one unit routed, and I'm still firing en masse just into these blobs of men, and I'm also taking my cav all the way around here, seeing this melee blob right here. At least I will eventually. And this unit I took to slow down the assault on this flank, because I can't take an onslaught that big, and I think I'll route this Red Bear Infantry, and I think I'll get quite a pounding by his Katana Kachi. Anyway, I tried to pull out right there with my cav, seeing that he did bring, at least not now, but did bring his Kyoto Police. So my other cav is not even engaging right now, but yeah. So due to the awesome amount of people he has, he actually reached my lines, but I tried to break it with a classic hammer and anvil charge. Not a really strong anvil, but hey, what can you do? It's still effective, seeing that this general is not a morale general, is actually a gunpowder general, and even if it was a leadership general, it wouldn't be that effective, seeing that his general is only a 2-star general. Yeah, so that's that, and my opponent is going to give up pretty soon, seeing my massive firepower. He might have been able to win, but most of his units are routing, and yeah, so that's that. And the few melee units he had left were wavering, and my cav would have easily broken them. Besides these units, no, where are they? Here they are, the Kyoto Police, but well, I have a lot more missile troops than you have, and that would have been the deciding factor. So, quick first battle, and we will take a look at the results. So this was an interesting match, because I think this is the First time I've been outmatched almost 3-1. Wow. Anyway, I deployed 660 and lost 145 and killed 686 of my enemy's troops before he gave up. He deployed 1830 guys, so look at the difference right there. Amazing. And he lost 690 of them and he killed 139 of mine. And I think that was mostly cavalry. Yeah, must have been. Look at the statistics. Yep, the infantry marine with the awesome reload rates and also a lot of men got 265 kills, and total riflemen, I think they were almost firing the whole game, at least until his melee units reached them. Got a lot of kills, and also my cavalry got quite a lot of kills, but I didn't have that many units, so yeah, the Shogun Guard Cav and the Odd Hierarchy didn't actually get engaged at all, so could have crushed him if the battle has gone on for a bit more. Yeah, his melee units, which actually reached my lines. His other units, unfortunately for him, mostly broke and couldn't get into position. I think he might have actually clicked a direct attack order several times. So I think this was a person that was actually very new to the game. Well, let's go to the next game. So this is the second game I want to show you, and I think this is a maximum money game because, yeah, just look at this, and I have a lot of elite units and everything. Let's just slow it down. And as I said, I do have a lot of line infantry, so infantry of the marine actually quite a little bit damaged from the last battle. Black bear infantry, white bear infantry, white bear infantry, white bear, white bear, white bear, imperial guard infantry, and regular imperial infantry. And that's what goes for my line infantry. I also have, I think I have, no, I have some unexperienced, but I have my hierarchy, I have Shogun Guard Cavalry, the upgraded one, because it didn't get damaged in the last battle. I got my general, of course, and should have more cavalry. Yeah, I think I have 3, yeah, there are. I have 3 cavalry units, I think. I might have 4. Seems like it's 3. Anyway, my opponent, he has all this cavalry over here, and they are very vetted up. These are the hierarchy, 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 and hierarchy. But as you can see, all of them have, I think it's 5 chevrons or more. Yeah, I think the circle is 5 chevrons. That actually all have 6 chevrons or more. So he does have the superior cav in this regard. His infantry consists of Vermilion Bird Force, 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 Azure Dragon Force, and Azure Dragon Force. And most of them are upgraded. His general is actually a melee general, and I found that extremely, well, what should I say? I've never seen that before, I mean. At least not at this level. And he also got this spear levy. So let's speed it up. I saw my opponent for some reason trying to go up this hill, and I do believe this was his, I would say, most major mistake in this battle, and we'll see why later. But my initial plan was basically to line up my units right here, because he seemed to be going just straight for me in the beginning, but I was too focused on this flank to actually pay attention over here, so this will actually stay like this for quite some time while my opponent tries to go for my right flank. Anyway, my cavalry and his are almost engaging, but something he actually did wrong. Well, first something I did wrong, I mismicroed my general, but he actually got out of there. But he actually sent 1 unit against my 3 units, so, well, that's not too good for him. So he will actually lose the cav fight right here. But he did send his 2 remaining units after my line infantry, and I guess that was a good idea. So here I start to rearrange, but as I said, I'm concentrating elsewhere, so I couldn't really it wasn't too good, I should say. Anyway, my 3 units of cavalry meets his 1 unit of cavalry, and if the frame rate would actually mind... Oh, there we go. So I actually charge these guys, which we're going to break nonetheless. So I free up my infantry marine, but by then his line infantry is already upon me. But I have at least Cruster's cavalry. So I take my units right there, and they're still a bit unorganized, but they're going to do their best, and we'll see how that goes. Still got my cavalry right there, and my general right there. I think I will move him, because this is a really risky spot. So line infantry is engaging line infantry. I actually got 2 lines firing right there. There's something you will not see too often due to the design of some of the maps. And here he actually threw down a naval blast, so we'll have a naval barrage coming in. I can't remember if I actually saw that one. Well, that will at least be quite devastating once it reached my guys. But at least his Azure Dragon Force broke against at least 2 experienced units of mine. Yeah, it did hit, and as you can see, it was quite devastating. Most of my white bears and white bears did actually break a unit outright. I think it did. Anyway, in the meanwhile, I think my... Oh, damn lag. Well, anyway, my cavalry is dead, but it at least gave me time to get the superior position. And here he engaged his general. He was going to help out with the melee fight, but the units he was helping have already routed, so yeah, that's that. And even though it is a melee general, it will not last too long against 3 units. And here his right flank breaks, and well, I have already broken his left flank, which was the cavalry flank, and I'm pounding away at the center. Sorry. So now it's just a case of wrapping up his flank, and my opponent, seeing that his, well, almost his entire army is broken, will soon give up. Well, not after he set down another naval strike, which will hit right around the area. But as you can see, it didn't hit anything because I moved my units a bit off, and well, 2 off, but sorry. At least I saved that guy for about 2 seconds before he got shot. Well, too bad for him. That's a sacrifice you do when you have to do when you serve under Mesa, because I expect my men to risk their lives for me, and they often will. So that's that battle, and we'll go on to the next one after we have taken a look at the results. So we almost deployed a equal number of men, but he deployed a bit fewer than me due to his cavalry being very superior. But unfortunately for him, he couldn't use it correctly, so that's where he lost the battle. Anyway, I deployed 1557 guys and lost 809 of them, and I killed 1188 of my enemy. My enemy deployed 1470 guys, he lost 1190 of them, and he killed 768 of my men. If you look at the statistics, you can see my white bear infantry, and generally, except for right here, my line infantry got the most kills. The infantry with the marine was bogged down for most of the fight, so it didn't get too many kills, but at least it warded off his cavalry, so that's that. His well-medium bird force, yeah, general line infantry right there as well. Beside this, which I think got involved in the fight with, yeah, I think one of the, maybe this, the Blackbeard infantry. Anyway, good game to my opponents, and we will take a look at the next battle. The third match I'm going to show you is on the Ubayo Onsen map, I think what's the name of it, and it's against Englishstani 23. So I got my infantry marine actually back to full strength, Blackberry infantry, Blackberry infantry, Blackberry infantry, Whiteberry infantry, and Imperial infantry. So my two flanks are protected by elite units. Well, let's just slow down because much is going to happen, at least at the start of the game. I got my Yariki and another unit of, no, this is actually the Shogunate cavalry, and both of them are upgraded, and that proved to be a bit useful because my opponent basically have a shitload of cavalry. Sorry about the language right there. Anyway, I got the Yari cavalry, Yari cavalry, Yari, Yari, and Saber. He also got his general, which is once again a pure melee general. As you can see, it is kind of a theme for him, having melee cavalry, so yeah. He also got infantry marine. Well, it's pretty experienced, but not as experienced as mine. But they will have actually win the one-on-one fight, spoiler alert, due to, well, you'll see, an unfortunate bug, which, well, it's a pain, but what can I do? He also got 12 million bird force and 12 million bird force, and he should have, he might do. I think he takes one unit and puts it over here of his cavalry, or he has a hidden unit somewhere around here. We'll see about that. Anyway, go back to regular speed and watch the battle. So, what he aims to do with his cavalry is basically to divide my attention and charge my line where he can charge it, where I'm not looking at it. I'm saying stuff wrong all the time. Well, that's me. Well, let's fast forward a bit because not much is going to happen. Not beside this anyway. He throughout the battle he's several times going to try to flank me with this unit right here, but I am going to protect myself with the reverse line infantry right here, and once in a while I'm going to chase after him with my Yari, but I'm not going to pursue it all the way, at least not at the start of the battle, because then I would be shot to bit by hit infantry the marine, and I really don't want that. So, I thought that I was in range right there, or later on I move up and thinking I'm in range, but I'm not, because, yeah, that's the view, but once again you can't really see that on the overhead, so that's why it is important to zoom in and out even when you're playing. So, my opponent right there goes around and tries to get behind me, and as you can see, was in the range for just a second, but the men couldn't fire because they were out of line of sight. So yeah, that's that. And I am soon anyway, I'm going to push up with these units and get some shots off into these units while he aren't looking. So anyway, going with the theme of the battle while I'm not looking. Yeah, that's the team. And he actually charged my guys when I weren't looking, so yeah. But for some reason I will actually win this cavalry fight, but yeah, what can you do for my opponent? And of course I clicked the direct attack order thinking that I had long range, and then just forgot about him, this unit. So when I actually got here, he started shooting and my unit started to shuffle and couldn't actually shoot before they just broke off completely. So that's a failure. Meanwhile, his cavalry actually tried to engage my Shogunate cav uphill, so that wasn't a good idea for him. And he's sending in most of his cav right there, and he's trying to break my right. And meanwhile, I pushed up with my line infantry and actually got some shots off with on his saber cav, and I broke his. I think I broke. No, we actually retreated. His Yari cavalry. Meanwhile, I won the cav fight right there, and I'm going for an outflanking attack, and I'm taking my Blackberry infantry, and I'm facing his infantry marine, which should be a foregone conclusion, but as I said, I do have the cav right there, so I will actually defeat this unit. and the fight will continue right here. So my Black Bear Infantry is facing his Vermilion Bird Force in the center, and these units are out of range. And here on the right flank, my cavalry has broke, and most of his cavalry has broke in the fight with my line infantry. And I think they're actually going to survive right there. No, it's this unit. Sorry. Yeah, he's actually trying to go for my general. Won't do too well. He will actually try to take this unit and plow it into the backs of my men right there. And we will see how that goes. So I'll eventually take these units and one of them up over here and try to support those men. And meanwhile, in the center, I actually broke his Vermilion Bird Force, and most of his units have actually broken. And here is the cavalry attack I was talking about. We'll try to watch it if the frame rate allows us. It often don't. But as you can see, my men were wavering already. So they actually broke before the cavalry reached them. I didn't remember that, but anyway. So what I have left now is White Bear Infantry, Imperial Infantry, Black Bear Infantry, and Black Bear Infantry. And they're all actually they're quite healthy, not too depleted. Not even this unit right here. My enemy, he has Yari Cavalry and Vermilion Bird Force, he has his General, and he has some Saber Cavalry. And he might have some hiding units right there. He might have taken them out already. Anyway, that's the only thing he got left. And I'm going to shoot at him with my Black Bear Infantry, pretty soon anyway. I think I'm actually going to click a direct attack order, which you rarely should do. But sometimes it is helpful. But most time you click an attack order and either you forget about it and screws up the attack, or he takes a horrible pathfinding, certainly around buildings, and you also get a horrible attack. So his Vermilion Bird Force is close to routing, and meanwhile his general is going to get actually a bit shot at by these guys once they come in range, if they do get in range at all. Yeah, they actually do. So his general will actually get hit by some of the shots that misses those guys, and that's not too good for him, because then his general loses all the morale, and so does the rest of his cavalry. So that's that, and good game to my opponent. Was an interesting game. Certainly a micro-intensive. If I'd done it live, you would see just the stress of the whole situation was actually quite nerve-wracking. But let's take a look at the results. So this time I actually deployed more guys than my opponent, but he deployed a lot more cavalry, and cavalry don't have as many men in the unit as a regular light infantry, so that's the explanation for that. I deployed 1,050 guys and lost 580 of them, so a bit over half. I killed 643 of my enemy. He deployed 840 guys and lost 648 of them. Some cavalry actually left the field there. And he killed 571 of my men. If you look at the statistics, you can see that the line infantry was the MVP of the round, and the Yariki actually did quite a bit of work, but that was because it charged into the back of the infantry de marine. His infantry de marine was actually the MVP, because he killed, he got got some kills on the buggy infantry de marine of mine, and actually with all that cavalry he couldn't really use it properly, it seems like, so you see there are at the bottom of the kills list. This unit right here didn't actually get any kills at all. It's a bit sad. All that money could have been spent on line infantry. Well, anyway, good game to my opponent, and we will take a look at the final battle, which is a special one, so yeah. And so, for the last battle in this video, we have taken the trip to the continent of Europe. And this is the game of Napoleon Total War. You might recognize it. I played it a few times before. Anyway, I'm going to move my troops around a bit, at least at the start, so I'll try to see if I can keep up with it. Anyway, I got 3 units of Lightfoot, and, well, by the way, I'm playing as Britain, and that should be blindingly obvious. I got the Connaught Rangers, foot, got several units of foot. Yep. All this line is basically of foot, beside the Connaught Rangers. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I have 2 units of foot guards, and I have a Coldstream Guard. And I have a historical general, the Major General Picton. Here he is. And I also have the Scott Greys. I have Horse Guards, I have Life Guards, and I have Hussars. So I have quite the elite cavalry force, at least when it comes to Britain. And my opponent, we'll see once the battle actually begins. He is playing as Prussia, and he's not having a historical general, there he is. But he do have a lot more men than me. He has 3 units of musketeers, 2 units of dragoons, and another of cuirassiers. He got musketeers, and musketeers. He got 2 units of hussars right here, and he got 2 units of foot guards. And as I said, he has a generic general staff, and he has 2 units of Prussian Fusilier. So I anticipate this move by my opponent, placing skirmishes in these 2 houses. So once we put it back to full speed, you will see that I will try to rush in to this building right here with my 2 units of Lightfoot, and they will actually sustain, not sustain a few casualties, they will actually do pretty good in this battle. They will take a few victims. So initially I did take my Lightfoot and I were going for this house, but seeing this force by my opponents, I decided not to, because I was sure they were going into the house and try to melee me, and light infantry against regular infantry, it's pretty one-sided battle. So my opponent's right flank is also sending a flank attack right here. I think it's 2 units of musketeers and most of his cavalry, at least the elite portion of it. He got dragoons right there, and cuirassiers. I think that's it. It's a big mess of flags right there, so it's a bit hard to tell. So Sherwood is in good place, and the skirmish fight is on. Speaking of skirmishes, I'm placing my skirmishers right here, just to protect this piece of land right here, and prevent it from crossing, and they will actually get a few shots in. Speaking of shots, they are getting shots in the side, but I do move them to behind this house once I realized that, and they only sustained 1 casualty before I got them out of harm's way. So the rest of my line infantry, I got the foot right here and the foot right here, basically protecting this right here. And there we go, got a few shots off and actually killed a lot of men. And I got the foot right here and the foot right here. If I had placed this a bit more further up, I would firstly get shot by skirmishers, and secondly, the pathfinding and actually placement right here is horrible. Just play this map, it's the Ligny map, and it's horrible. At least at this spot, because you can't get a straight line. Got the foot right here. And I do have some elite units, but where are they? Oh, there they are. Coldstream Guards and Foot Guards. I have them on my left flank right here. And I have the Foot Guards right here, and they will be helping in a upcoming melee fight. Meanwhile, my opponent is streaming in from this side. And I actually peeled off 2 units of well, the most elite unit you can have is Britain, and the standard line infantry. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. So, let's just see. Yeah, we can do that. I'm going to place the markers right here, eventually, seeing that these units are going to stop right here. So I was trying to get some shots off. So this is basically just a position war, I should say. And Well, yeah. Anyway, this is the building that we actually captured, and trying to help out the situation, I am sending over my regular foot units, and I'm also sending in my foot guards. And a foot guard will absolutely pwn in melee, so that was the intention of that. It's actually possible to win 3 against 1 in that regard, as you will see. Meanwhile, he's crossing the bridge with many of his men, but are they actually in range? Yeah, there are. So I did get a lot of shots off on these guys, and they were already very depleted due to the fight with my Lightfoot, and they are going to engage in melee eventually. But seeing that these are so depleted, they will actually break before they have time to do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, the fight is on right there, and it's not looking good for me, but that's because most of my men aren't even in the house right now, so... In the meanwhile, still got his foot guards. I have not put them into action yet. So how's it going in this flank? Yeah, he actually sent over every single one of his units, and I think that this, in my opinion, was a huge mistake by my opponent, because my cavalry is actually superior to his, and I did bog down the line infantry he did have, and I also got some of my line infantry backing up, but it's not going to make too much of a difference right there. Well, right, I think I actually sent the unit of Coldstream Guard into melee to help this. So I guess it was worth it a bit. But the skirmish match taking place right there is going in my favor, as you can see. I lost way fewer units than my opponent had. And speaking of my opponent, he has sent over all his foot guards and are now engaging in melee fights. And as I said, his musketeer did break. Took a long time, but they still did break. So I'm going to take my Lightfoot, and I'm going to aim for the general, seeing that he's just in the vicinity. And I'm taking his foot units, and I'm trying at least, it's a bit hard to do pathfinding, to flank around right there and hit the foot guards in the back. And I also got the foot helping out, and my general for morale. On this flank, his cavalry is still bogged down, but now all of his regular line infantry has already broken and fled, so that's good for me. And I also have this unit of Hussars helping out, and I have my unit of Coldstream Guards, the most elite line infantry you can have as Britain. They are also engaged in the fight, and as you can see, my men are quite happy and his are not, so they will break pretty soon. Meanwhile, in the house fights, it's going well for me. As you can see by the balance bar, I have the foot and the foot guards against his musketeers, and my foot guards alone actually do outman them.
We have taken the buildings up.
So the foot guards are actually wrecking my guys, but you do have to have a what should I say, a consistent melee fight with the unit in this game to break it. And my units have the support by the foots, and his unit did have support, but it was with a Prussian Fusilier unit, which was actually shooting against my Lightfoot early on, so that didn't exactly help. He did retreat his general after he took some casualties. So his foot guards are now bogged down in melee with my foot and foot guards. Meanwhile, on this flank, I have won, and I'm in the process of taking my cavalry and flanking around this side, and my final goal was to go for the general. So what he has left is a unit of Prussian Fusilier, and this unit of Prussian Fusilier just routed due to casualties sustained during the the skirmish fight with my 2 units of Lightfoot, which actually consisted the whole battle. So it's quite a lengthy fight, that. Anyway, in meanwhile, I'll send my foot guards and my regular foot units to have a house battle with the Prussian Fusilier, and my opponent will eventually take his general staff. Yeah, here he goes, and try to help out, but it will prove unsuccessful. And just for the hell of it, I will take my Major General Picton and go in and help, but well. Well, because
Sir,
there weren't really that much to lose right there, because the majority, what should I say, the number of men I had, so even losing a general didn't actually matter at this point. And here I broke his last unit, and it's good game to my opponent. Let's see. His name was, well, we'll see that later. And there I killed the general, and the match is over. So good game to my opponent. L'Empereur. Sorry. Oh, 5 years of French. Still can't pronounce it properly. Anyway, I deployed 1428 guys. So I had more elite troops, and I killed. No, I lost 626 and killed 1128 of my enemy. He deployed 1743. He lost 1225, and he killed 523 of my men. And let's see at the statistics right there. The foot unit was actually the MVP, and I think this is the foot unit that was shooting into the blob of foot guards all along while they were in melee. And these units are actually a big part of why I actually won the battle. At least a major part of it. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, the Lightfoot actually got quite a lot of kills. I think this is the unit that was outside all the time. Yeah, you can see that. And this is generally all the skirmishing kills it's got shooting over the river. And yeah, that's basically that, and everything of importance. My cavalry did well. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.